Hi, how are you? It's Traviseen here, and welcome back to our adventures with the Gnome Warlock.
Salutation.
Last episode, we completed Razorfen Crawl, guys, and a bunch of quests. Today, we're going to turn in the Crone of the Crawl. So long as Charlga Razorfank is mustering a force in Razorfen Crawl, these lands are in great danger.
The crone has been laid to rest. This is fantastic
Awesome
news,
shoulders.
adventurer. In these times of peril, it is refreshing to see one as brave as yourself. With Razorflank's minions taken care of, our studies in the area can continue. Perhaps now we can gain further knowledge of exactly what happened to corrupt the resting place of Agamagan. However, I fear the answer to that question lies in treachery as well.
All right, well, there we go. Completed that quest, got a decent amount of XP. We also hit level 32 last episode, guys, so we've unlocked some new abilities. Curse of Weakness rank 4. Target's melee attack power is reduced by 82 for 2 minutes. Nice. Curse of Elements we've unlocked now. Causes the target for 5 minutes. Curses the target for 5 minutes, reducing arcane fire, frost, and shadow resistance by 45. And increasing arcane fire and frost and shadow damage taken by 6%. Only one curse per warlock can be active on any one target. Pretty damn good curse to put up on a boss, that's for sure. It's like a must in a raid. And Fear. Strikes fear in the enemy, causing it to run in fear for 15 seconds. I wonder how much of an upgrade that is. So yeah, five more seconds they run around. Cast time is the same. And Shadow Ward, rank 1. Absorbs 290 shadow damage, lasts 30 seconds. It's not bad. Curse of Elements is an awesome ability to have. I think you only have like one warlock who puts that up. You have like a warlock in your group that puts up Curse of Elements. Problem is you can't use Agony. So some groups have like that designated warlock who does that. I think if a warlock has to put up Curse of Elements, they should get like prio on like a legendary weapon. Like good old Atiesh. Might be in collections or legendaries. Yeah, they should be able to get Atiesh, guys. It's awesome to give warlocks Atiesh because they actually give quite a good buff to everybody. Not too sure if this is it or this one. There's 4 different versions. There's one for a druid, there's one for a mage, there's one for a warlock, and then there's one for a priest. I think this is the mage one. Proves crit by rating for all party members by 28 for everybody. I think this is the mage one. Increases damage and healing done by magical spells and effects of all party members within 30 yards by up to 33. Oh, this is the warlock one. This one says it right there. I'm tripping out. So yeah, if you have it's pretty good if you bring a warlock even into TBC with this item. It's helps quite a bit. It's quite a big buff. 33 spell and healing power to everyone in your party. So you just stack that party up with all the casters, healers. Helps quite a bit. I didn't know the mages had a buff too. With 28 crit for party members. Yeah, Atiesh is an awesome item. Probably the best legendary in vanilla. Alright, here we are at Ratchet, guys. Hope you guys are doing well today. That was a fun run in RFK. Got quite a bit of XP. And let's put these shoulders on. The 5 stam, 10 intellect, 6 spirit, 39 armor, berry line pads. Got a little bit of loot in that run. Chest piece and some shoulders. Alright, so let's turn in blue leaf tubers. We'll wait to turn this one in Darnassus. Mortality wanes. It's pretty far away. Do you have the tubers, Traviseen?
You got them. I can sell these to my contacts for a bundle. Thanks for the delivery, adventurer. You are a great partner. The raptors of the Barrens are smarter than raptors in other lands.
Alright, we're hearthing back to Ironforge. And we'll go and see the Warlock Trainer at the Forlorn Cavern. And then we'll probably turn in a quest here at the Tome of the Cabal, which is a Warlock quest. And then we will make our way over to Menethil Harbor. Do a little bit of questing there.
Only corrupts those who are weak. Keep up on your training, or you may find a similar fate.
Alright, so let's update these abilities, guys. Curse of Weakness, rank 4. Fear, rank 2. Shadow Ward, is that Curse of Elements there? Put that here. I wonder if we'll use that in dungeons. Like, do Warlocks use Curse of Elements? Probably not, because I assume if you're the only Warlock in the dungeon, now if there's multiple casters, it's probably worth it. Like, if you have, you know, mages and Warlocks, like in a group like that, then maybe Curse of Elements is worth using, especially on a boss. So let's go back here. But if you're like the only caster in the group, or there's just one more mage, maybe it's just better to use Curse of Agony. And then there's Shadow Ward. I think that's probably in Demonology. There it is. Let's try using it here.
Well met.
Here's the Watcher Pharaoh. You can actually turn on the hardcore buff. This guy. Soul of Iron.
Good luck, friend.
Tome of the Cabal? Sounds familiar. I've never seen it here before, though. And believe me, I remember every book I read. Yes, I have seen references to it in library cataloguing books. It was lost, but there's some idea as to where it might be found. There was only one copy
This will
ever
pick
made,
these up. Why
and
not?
it was vandalized at some point. A large portion of it ripped from the
A lot of quests.
Rumor has it that it
you
somehow
collect.
passed into the hands of the Centaur of Thousand Needles. The rest was lost off the coast west of South Shore, where it was to be transported to Menethil Harbor by boat. It never arrived. In exchange for this knowledge, all I ask is that if you find it, bring it to me to see.
The future is inevitable. We hurl ourselves
Oh
towards
my
it like
gosh.
falling raindrops to the great sea. But perhaps by studying the past, we can know what to expect and be better prepared for the unknown. Before dire troubles fell upon Lordaeron, there was a bastion of knowledge tucked away in the Tirisfal Glades. It is rumored that a book called Mythology of the Titans was housed in the library of the old monastery. Bring it to me, and perhaps together we can unlock the secrets of the past.
Adventurer, I received reports from Prospector Ironband at his excavation site in Loch Modan. He needs some legwork done concerning another of our excavations. I don't have more details than that, but if you want to stretch your legs, then go speak with Ironband. There's work to be done in Desolis, adventurer. It's an atrocious place, befouled by centaur and other nasties. But if you're looking for a good week's honest work, then head there, meet with Kreldig Ungor, and tell him I sent you. You can find him holed up at Nigel's Point. It's a little cozy camp hidden in the mountains of northern Desolis. Just head east if you enter from the Stonetalon Mountains. It's easy to miss, so be on the lookout.
Yeah, we'll be heading to Desolis soon to pick up a quest for Scarlet Monastery. We can also get into Library now, which I'll try to get into soon, or Graveyard. And that quest, the Warlock quest, it actually tells us to go back to Thousand Needles. We were just there to get the Tattered Manuscript. We'll eventually head down that way. Guess we'll continue with the responses for the Classic Plus project. I think the last question we might have done is, should the level cap ever be increased from 60? And the general conclusion on that one was, depends how long after launch would have to see 54.7%. A lot of people, I guess more people than said yes than no. But it depends on what they decide to do. So let's pick up a few quests here. And we'll continue this quest chain.
Lightforge iron is a precious metal, but it sounds like your quest is a dire one. You've come a long way, brother. With luck, you might just find what you seek. And if you do get the iron, I know who can fashion it into a weapon against this necromancer you speak of in Duskwood. The shipwrecks off the shore here are the doomed Third Fleet of Kultiras, burned and sunk by red dragons during the last Great War. The fleet hailed from Lord Eron, but one ship, an elvish destroyer flying Osprey, was with it. It was shipping a load of Lightforge iron and joined the Third Fleet for protection. Ironic that it sunk to the same dragons. Enough history. The Flying Osprey is wrecked to the south of Menethil Harbor. If you find the Lightforge iron there, bring it to me.
Okay, so we'll get our Voidwalker out. We actually have talent to teach him, or rank up for Torment rank 3. So I'll teach him that. There we go, he has rank 3 Torment. Better Taunt. We'll keep collecting shards here. She probably should pick this up quick. Get the ingots from these guys.
Outside of the chest, as if Murlocs have searched through it and stolen its treasure. But tucked deep within the chest is a single Lightforge ingot. Unfortunately, many more will be needed if enough metal to fashion a weapon is to be gained. Having grabbed the single Lightforge ingot from the waterlogged chest, it is clear that Murlocs have stolen the rest. Hunt the Murloc raiders near the Flying Osprey wreckage for the lost Lightforge iron.
It'd be kind of a pain getting this all the iron here. To slay quite a few Murlocs. And maybe we'll get lucky. And the next question here is, should Classic Plus have new zones? And yes, please, got 87.7%, so a lot of people want new zones. 12.8% said no, keep the original zones and just expand on them. I think I might have said that. Because I'm not too sure what new zones means. Like, I think Mount Hyjal would be considered to be a new zone, right? Just drink up here and Sarvan get his mana back up. But I wouldn't mind new zones, as long as they're on Azeroth. And specifically, it'd be nice to keep them in the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. Because it would be cool to see, you know, like Mount Hyjal get a zone, and maybe they could do something with, you know, Eversong Woods and the Ghostlands. There's a lot they can work with just the current Azeroth. Another shard here. Make a health stone. And the next question builds on top of this one. So, if yes, where in Azeroth or beyond would be okay with you for these zones to be? Ourselves the underwater breathing buff. Anywhere on Azeroth got 41.6%. Only the two main continents got 29.4%. That's what I would have voted at. I believe that's what I voted. Anywhere on Azeroth and any other planet / dimension is fine. Outland, Argus, Koresh, 22%. That's the one I'm like least fine with. And then no opinion at 6.3%. So it looks like they could potentially add Northern, which isn't too bad. Northern would be cool. It's a lot they can work on in Northern as well. It's also Pandaria. The Dragon Isles as well. So there we go. Let's get ourselves a soul stone. I just need one more ingot, not too bad. You might have to go for a little swim to get it though. I always have to make my way down here to get it. To complete this quest. We're almost done here too. Not too many questions left. Should new content be added for leveling quests, low-level zones, and dungeons? And then that got yes, of course, at 92.5%. No opinion at 4.4%. And no at 3.1%. So that is by far probably the highest percentage I've seen so far for an answer. So yeah, they want new low-level zones. I think this could be a cool, like Eversong Woods would be a cool low-level zone, like a Blood Elf. They could add Azurmist Isle to the Draenei, potentially. But would the Draenei make sense if, like, you know, that means we're going to space because they're from the space? I don't know. Because their main city is a crash ship.
What's on your mind?
Did you find the Lightforge iron you
Ah,
need?
you found them. Now let's get this Lightforge iron hammered into something useful, eh? There is a dwarven weaponsmith in the dwarven district of Stormwind who can craft with Lightforge iron. His name is Grimand Elmore. I've packed the iron you found into a crate. Take it to Grimand and tell him your tale. I'm sure he'll oblige someone on a quest such as yours and craft for you a weapon. A weapon to give even Morbant Fell worry.
All right, very nice. So we have a quest to bring it back to Stormwind. We'll eventually do that, and we'll deal with Morbid Fell. And now we're going to make our way down here and get the Musquash root. It's the final item I believe we need for Noble Brew. And since we're in the area, we might as well pick it up. That's another quest. We'll turn it in Stormwind City. Yeah, new dungeons would be nice, low-level zones, new quests. They can add that in every new zone, though, that they haven't really worked. That didn't really get much attention in the original vanilla. There's also like the old, like the zones that were introduced in Cataclysm. I know Hygel's one of them, but they could add Deep Home potentially. I don't know if that would work though too well, but the one that's connected to Tanaris, I forget what it's called here, Uldum. They could add Uldum. That'd be pretty cool. I just my particular thing that I want with the Classic Plus is like you should be able to get to these zones via just riding your mount. Right? And I guess you can do that, which means you could add Northern. It's not too big of a deal. Maybe they could add Outland. It wouldn't be too bad. I just want them to make sure that Stormwind and Ironforge and, you know, Orgrimmar still stay as the main capital, though. Because once you bring us out to Northrend and Outland and all that, then those cities kind of die out a little bit, and they get replaced by, like, you know, Dalaran and Shadrath, and then nobody really leaves Northrend ever. They just stay there, or they stay in Outland forever. Be cool if they were able to make it connected to these two continents, or limit it to these two continents, so those cities stay relevant. And maybe it's not that big of a deal, but I know if those cities stay relevant and everything's connected to these continents, then just make these areas more active. Because look, like when we're questing out here, you barely see anybody right now in the wetlands. If this was vanilla, you'd see people running up and down this road all day. All right, so we're getting pretty close here. I'm going to queue up for Scarlet Monastery, guys. Wow, not a lot of people for both Graveyard and Library. That's kind of interesting. I think when we get to the Armory Cathedral part, we'll probably see some more people. Oh, there's somebody leveling up. Draenei Hunter. If we can't find a group, maybe we'll just make our way to Darnassus. We can actually turn in that quest up here. And then maybe head down to Desolace. Here we go, the Musquash route. Supposedly just over here. I rarely ever do this quest just because of how out of the way the Musquash route is. But yeah, we'll find a group, guys. It's starting to pile up now. Just hoping we can get into a library run. We have a few more levels to unlock the quest for Scarlet Monastery, where we have to just slay all the bosses. It's here in, I forget the name of this place. Nigel's Point, I believe. In Desolus. But we'll head back and we'll go to Darnassus. I'm just hoping that we can find a group soon. If we do, then we can just make our way up the South Shore and just quest there, maybe. While we wait for a group invite. Here's another question. Should leveling be sped up? Not too sure if we went over this one already. Well, 52.1% said that no, the leveling pace is already great. They want to keep it the same. I think that's not bad. I think it's at a pretty good pace. 25.9% said yes, but maybe not at launch. And 18.5% said speed it up across the board. So it looks like people want to keep it at the regular pace. I think to make it... They should try to slow it down, though, with phases, like they did in Season of Discovery. So people don't just blast right to 60. Maybe a little bit less phases, though. Have like 1 to 25, and then 25 to like maybe 45 or 25. Yeah, maybe 25 to 45, and then 60. Because I think they waited too long in Season of Discovery for max level content to come out. I think 3 phases was a little too long. Because you started to see a little bit of a drop-off for the Sunken Temple raid that they added. Or during that Sunken Temple phase. Should there be more class-specific quests? 58.3% said yes. 28.2% said yes, but only to unlock abilities/spells like Warlock, Demons, or Priest Racials. ISM Lib, nice. Yeah. Invite. Looks like we got 4. I wonder if anybody's close. They have 2 there. In a group. Oh, this is for, this guy said GY. Did you invite? I got into a GY group. I don't really mind that, but I'd rather do lib, to be honest. Or invite. Can you get... Somebody invited me and then I didn't get in the group. For library. Alright, so there we go. We got a... They had people there to summon. Imi's up there. Where's Drom Nuck? It's gonna be kind of rough. This library. See how it goes. Maybe we have enough time to make our way to Narcissus, turn this in. Enemies inside SM. Oh, the hunter's inside SM. So we have 2 people up there. It's just the hunter needs to just come out of the dungeon. Here's a question here. Should every specialization be competitive in both PvE and PvP? This one's actually pretty close. 35.8% said not every spec needs to be perfectly raid/PvP viable. Overtuning for PvE balance could break PvP and vice versa. Yeah, I think that's what I voted for as well. And then another 35.8%, so tied for first. Not in most cases, but vanilla hybrid classes don't perform well in PvE outside of healing. Those classes could use a bit of love. Yeah, I agree with that. That's true. But they shouldn't be overtuned, because if you overtune hybrids and they do too much damage, then they become kind of OP, because not only do they have a bunch of utility, right, from being a hybrid class, they also like are doing an insane amount of damage. I noticed that when I played a Boomkin, like they're really hard to balance. They either are very strong and do like a ton of AoE damage, or they're like, and if they nerf the AoE damage, they're pretty weak, but at least they bring a utility to the group. They're kind of a hard class to balance, to be honest. Because it's pretty OP in a Boomkin that does like, you know, an insane amount of damage, and then also has all of that utility, like B-res, they can heal. You can stealth. Pretty good CC with clone and roots. They eventually get Typhoon to it's like a kick, almost like an AoE kick, pushback. Other answer at 23% is yes, every spec should be viable in all scenarios. Kind of disagree with that. Some specs should be like not the greatest at PvP, but pretty damn good at PvE and vice versa. I don't really mind that. WoW's always been that way. And no opinion at 5.5%. I think it's almost impossible to completely balance the game where every class is represented everywhere. Some classes are just lucky, though, and they're good at both. Like Warlock is usually that way. Mage. Rogue's usually that way, too. usually pretty good at both, but they always have a spec that sucks at it. Right? When you have 3 DPS specs, you're bound to get one that's good at PvP and one that's good at PvE. Should dual specialization be implemented? 92.7% said yes, yeah. Everybody loves dual spec. 3.9% said no, and 3.4% had no opinion. Should new professions be added? Yes, new professions sound awesome. 62.4%. No, the originals are fine, and no opinion. Well, 26.9% no originals are fine, and 10.8% said no opinion. Do we wait for the boat or do we fly over? I'm just hoping we can turn this quest in before summons go out. And then we don't have to make this trip again. Twilight Falls, yeah. Didn't get to complete that one. But we did get to complete Mortality Wanes, which is quest I usually don't get to complete.
Beast, proud and swift. They are an honor to train and can quickly take their rider a great distance.
Because you get this quest at the end of the dungeon. And then usually by then, like, all of the mobs that drop the quest item, the pendant, have been killed, so you don't really get to complete it unless you do it again. Should professions be updated to have more endgame relevance? New recipes, etc. Yes, make professions relevant, 91.2%. No opinion, that's pretty high. No opinion, 5.4%, and no, don't change professions, 3.4%. I think they're going to have to change professions, right? Like, maybe add like some new herbs, some new ores to craft some different kinds of gear. There's a lot they can do with professions. I think professions are kind of lacking in Classic, supposedly compared to a lot of other MMOs. And supposedly they also have updated professions quite a bit in the Warthin, but I didn't really get to check that out. I didn't really play it. I played it. I leveled the character, but that's pretty much it. So I didn't really dive into professions. I've heard it's gotten a little bit better. There's work orders now too, which is cool. Kind of gives you like a daily quest to do for your profession, I believe. A lot of guild spam going out. Yeah, no tanks. Maybe we should have just went with those other guys, but it's no big deal. We at least got to turn this quest in. 28 minutes on my hearth. There we go. What brings you to my home, Gnome?
No, 'tis not fair. Oh, cruel and intolerable world. I must now carry this burden of grief and not let Heralath's work die with him. You were brave to journey from such a dangerous place, adventurer, but please leave me now. In solitude I shall mourn.
So we got the Morning Shawl here, 7 stamp, 3 spirit, 21 armor. We lose intellect though if we put this on, so I probably won't take it. And we'll take the Lancer boots. They sell for more, 2 silver more.
Good luck, friend.
And there we go, guys. So we got to turn in some quests today. We completed some quests. Looks like we may have to wait to get summoned. I hope we can find a tank. Could head over here and make our way to Nigel's point. Just get the flight point. Because it looks like we lost the other guy who's summoning. Just too bad. Which means we'll probably have to make our way up there. Maybe we join this group with Tyrone. This one seems to be dying. It's just hard to find a tank. Healers are pretty tough too to find, but tanks seem to be always in demand. Yeah, we lost the group leader, and that's it. That's all she wrote, guys. Alright, well that was interesting. Guess we'll just keep on riding, guys. We're gonna ride over to Stormwind now. And get back in this queue. I think that might be the move now. Because we do have a few quests to turn in there in Stormwind. Noble Brew. Also the Blessed Arm. And then we can get armed and ready for Morbinfell, and we can deal with him in Duskwood.
To maintain our link to the mainland, we have hippogriffs constantly flying between Rutheran Village and Darkshore.
Yeah, guys, that was the survey. I think we went through all the questions. I might have went over some questions once or twice. You can also check the results for other surveys as well. They also have a content page. And it shows the world and like potential new raids that they would add. You were thinking about adding the Emerald Nightmare, which was a raid in Legion. Just up here, and they're saying in Moonglade, like right over here. The Druid area. That'd be kind of cool. Druid, like a Night Elf themed raid. Emerald Nightmare was a fun raid. It's the first raid that came out in Legion. Yeah, Caverns, the time they could add they could use quite a bit of as well in Tanaris. It's pretty popular in TBC. Oh damn, there's the boat, guys. I wonder if we'll make it. We have to mount up. It's not looking too good though. Unless it just landed there. Draenei doing a little bit of fishing. Nope. Damn it. Well, it looks like we missed the boat. We are back and we got into a group for Scarlet Monastery, guys. And looks like both of them are here. Or they're in the dungeon. I'm down for a few runs, lib plus GY. Sounds good. I'm not too sure what we should do. Should we just make our way up there? Or do we fly down to Stormwind and try to turn these quests in? Not too sure it really matters. I think we'll just make our way up. We'll do the journey. We haven't done the journey yet, so we'll make our way there. Anything we can sell here? Maybe we should get rid of a few items. Send all the BOEs. Maybe some of this food as well. And sell all this stuff except for the Orbosauronic. We want to keep that. Keep these boots as well. We're okay on water. Could probably buy a bit more. Can I open this? No, damn it. Send a few more items. I just sell this stuff on the auction house. Sometimes takes a while to sell, though. And usually if it takes too long to sell, we just vendor it. But it's worth trying. Let's vendor all these. And that should be it. More than enough space now. Get a few more waters. And we'll take the sun.
Fill your tankard and pull up a chair. We've stories to tell and kegs to empty.
Get like... should be more than enough there. If our gear's not beat up, I might have forgot to repair. Well, there we go, guys. We made it to SM. We didn't even have to travel here. Usually I always have to make the journey, but that's one thing about TBC. It just gets summoned everywhere. Which is nice, but it is cool, like, making the journey as well. Here we go, guys. We're going into Scarlet Monastery. Probably my favorite set of dungeons to do in the game. One of. We'll be doing this quite a bit, from 32 to 40. Not too sure where we're going first. We have to remember to get the key as well for these doors. Looks like it's going to be a library, guys. But that is going to be the end of today's episode. Next episode, we will be inside of Scarlet Monastery Library, and I think we'll probably do Graveyard as well. But as always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.